I'm sitting here staring at nothing and figuring, well, a whole minute went by. This is K4PEW net control. I'm just so enamored with what I got here. Net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex radio net. And we'll be looking for check-ins for a minute, but is there any emergency traffic? Pretty sure there isn't since I've been listening for a good 30 minutes. Hold on one second. I'll kill some audio here. All right. Where was it? Oh, yeah. Emergency traffic. If you have any emergency traffic, just jump in there and say so. Tell us what your problem is. Tell us where you are. But call 911 first. Don't wait for us to call 911. We're not going to do it. Okay, it's just that simple. All right. You can break it anytime for an emergency. For information on this net, you can look right now on YouTube, and you can see. Hold on. I'll move it over. Now you can see me better. Not that's helpful. This is if you're not on YouTube, I promote the idea that you should be, not to see me, but so you can hear. You can turn the screen off. You can hear the audio from other stations. Because if you can't hear the other station with your radio, you can hear it here, so you don't get bored to death sitting there, picking your seat. Anyway, but YouTube is you just put in my call K4PEW, just K4PEW. That's it, K4PEW, and hit the enter, and then you click on the picture of me and my wife, and that'll get you to the live videos. And you can also go to groups.io. That's MJSS in the groups.io slot there, their search block, and join if you want to. We have a reminder system. It's also got about 200 people in there to ask technical questions, support for radio stuff, support for emotional support. If your radio blows up, that kind of stuff. You won't get anybody to commiserate with you, but you will get offers to buy a dead radio. Or you can send me an email at k4pew@arrl.net. We normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night. We conduct the net on 146.415 FM Simplex. Purpose of the net is to have fun, figure out what's going on, with our own shacks, whether it works or doesn't work. Pretty sure I just want to make sure I wasn't double checking, but I know I'm getting out. I think I am anyway. Yeah. Okay. Nobody said anything yet, so I don't think I asked either. Anyway, to see is there any announcement? Let's go with that. Announcements. There's an announcement for Sunday Night Net at 8 o'clock. It may be I think Michael's going to be back in his shack on Sunday, so he'll be able to do the net. I wasn't able to do it the last 2 Sundays. I have a conflict on that night. But a conflict for doing the net. I could probably check in on the net when he's doing it. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's just I have a Zoom call with shipmates from the ship I served on almost 6 decades ago. So it's important to us anyway. It's not important to anybody else. Has anybody got any other announcements? At 8 o'clock Sunday night, 28.415, 28.415. That's where it starts, upper sideband. And he'll direct you to the other 2, which is FM and then C4 FM. Does anybody any other announcements? All righty. We're on net number 1,146 is our first net, first one. It's either the first one of this year or the last one. I don't know. I think it's the first one of the 12th year. Might be the second, but I'm not sure what day we started. Anyway, we're in our 12th year. So it's, we must be, I'm not going to say we're doing something right. We're just doing something that people participate in, and I'm glad, and it works for me, so to speak. I think we are doing a public service, and I appreciate everybody who checks in. Let's see, where else was I going to be here? Oh yeah, we're net number 1146. We're starting from the east, but first we're going to be taking check-ins from short on time, mobile, or first time check-ins. But I did want to mention the next one is 146.415. I mean, I did that wrong. 446.415, where we're going after the 2-meter net, and then we're going over to 28.415, and then 223.415. So let's go now with the short on time, mobile, or first time check-ins. Boy, they're all just jumping in. Am I on the air?
Yeah, you're on the air.
I'm talking thin air here. All right, we don't have any. We're going to start from the east then. Please come now. Okay, a lot of people from the east. How about the far east, way out east? Okay, east of Eden. How about that? We're not nobody east. All right, we're going up to the north. There's a big crowd up in the north waiting for us.
88 RRO.
Hey, KD8R. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, sir?
Oh, net nights are always a pain. Not a pain. They're just painful for me because I have to be rigid and disciplined to show up on time.
Exactly. But, yeah, I was looking at the stream and looking good on the stream, sir.
Oh, very good. Well, I don't know who's looking good here. But, no, I always have fun. I made that other meme. Did you see the meme I put up today? It was kind of not stupid, but I thought it was funny.
That would be a negative, sir.
Oh, okay, no, take a look. I was talking about how I've been warning hams for 20 years about repeater usage.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I haven't. I'll have to check that out, sir.
No, no, it's just it's got what I would have said had I told all hams. I just I talk about it on occasion, but and then I just make out that that makes me a fine critic. Anyway, what's going on with you?
None. You see it. Really haven't been in the shack here for a while. I figured I'd get back out here in the shack and dust off all these old radios and that I've got and get back on the net there and start talking again.
Yeah. Forgive me, but you did a lot of CB as well, didn't you?
That is correct, sir.
You still doing a lot of that?
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, I just got off of it was 38 lower sideband.
Yeah, I was talking about it the other day, and I was wondering how many people on CB are using the FM portion.
No, I mean there's several of them out there using it, but not like what you would think. I mean, it's not as popular. I don't use it or whatever, even though I have radios that do have it, but I don't use it.
I'm just curious. Because I know it's a relatively new feature on the new CB radios, and I just couldn't imagine on CB being a great mode, especially if you're confined to the low wattage, because the FM's not going to get out too far.
That is correct. No, if you're confined to low wattage, which a lot of them barely do 4 watts, so it's not going to carry you very far.
No, I'm just curious. So things are still going well for you?
Oh yes, sir. Doing fine or whatever. I hope everybody else is doing well too.
Oh yeah. Well, it's nice to have you on the air, Kirby. I haven't heard from you in I don't know how long. A year, maybe more.
I ain't been quite that long yet, but it is working up that way.
No, it's all good. I had somebody who was new to the net within the last couple of weeks. I really appreciate you welcoming me to the as a newcomer. So I do that for everybody.
Oh yeah, yes sir, you sure do, and whatever. And I hope they get on the net tonight, and hopefully they've got something new going on with their their antenna set up or something there.
Oh, I did. I don't know what the answer is to this. You'll since you're new, you'll like this. Not new. You're new to the last year or so. But somebody got out of our group list, the mailing list, and his reason, and no one ever gave a reason. And a lot of people drop out for one reason or another. Who knows what? And this person, I won't use the name they use because I'm not trying to malign them in any way. But he said, she, I'm pretty sure it was he. He said, I don't like silly conspiracies. And I'm trying to think what I would have said about conspiracies that sounded silly unless I was just making fun of something.
Now that I don't know, sir. I mean, I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, seems like everything that I've ever heard you say, has been pretty straightforward and straight to the point and the truth there, Roger.
Oh yeah, no, I have fun with. Well, my wife strongly believes that Bigfoots are real. They're out there somewhere, and I said, well, since I can't disprove you, I think they are real. You're right. I really don't know. So I call that a silly conspiracy. That's a good one for me.
Exactly. Now, as far as Bigfoot goes, I cannot confirm nor deny, Bigfoot's existence. But I can say this: I've never seen one, but I don't know. It could be out there. I don't know. I mean, just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
That's right. I can't confirm a negative, can I? But I did. I got a few years ago. My brother and I, and then his nephew. He was at the time about 15. He stayed a whole week with me up in the mountains, up in the Adirondacks. And it's pretty. I don't know if you've ever been up in the Adirondacks. It's kind of like East Tennessee in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing. There's just nothing but woods. And so we were driving through the woods one day, and I said, we ought to dress me up as an abominable snowman, and you take a picture of me coming out of the woods, And he goes, yeah, that'd be great. Then we have a great conspiracy here, you know, that we found Bigfoot in the Adirondacks. And then I said, wait a minute, hold on. I don't think that's such a good idea, because if I'm walking through the woods looking like the abominable snowman, some hunter's going to kill me.
Probably so. That would probably been not a good idea, you know, especially in that deep of the woods there, or whatever. And, you know, I've never been there, but I've been to the UP up there in northern Michigan or whatever, and I've seen some things out in the woods that I didn't know what they were, so I just leave it at that.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, anything else for the net, Kirby? It's good to have you in there anyway.
Negative, sir, negative. Hope y'all have a good net or whatever we're going to be listening in. And I was looking at my signal. Don't look like I'm doing pretty good off this little bitty tiny radio, pocket radio.
Yeah, you're at 30 over to me from Lagarde.
Copy that. All right, we all have a good net.
Very good, Kirby. You too. That's Kirby, Kilo Delta 8, Romeo Oscar, and he's over in Lagarde. Who else is not too far from here, but a really great signal? Who else is wherever I was, from the east or north?
Charlie, Victor Echo.
All right, we had a double, triple, quadruple. That was Greg, Kilo Delta 4, Charlie, Victor Echo. What's up, Greg?
Not much. Yeah, 11 meters has been open nice today, so 10 meters probably is, but not that you'd ever know. It wasn't a contest weekend. You're not going to rouse anybody. So anyway, but yeah, we might have somebody on join us. Who knows on 28415 because it is open towards like Arizona and all that. And other than that, Bigfoot's real is just interdimensional and they're in and out.
I'm telling you, man, they're out there. Every nation, every continent in the world has said they saw some form of a swamp creature or Bigfoot type entity.
Yeah, they're just like UFOs and other things. They're interdimensional and they're here and gone. You're not really going to get much evidence generally.
No, well, people forget two things about things in the ocean. Every time they do a deep sea exploration, they go, you know, we found another creature we never saw before in our life. And every time we go out in the woods, they go, wow, look at that. We never saw that before.
Way to dig down deeper than we have ever before and find the lizard people.
We found them. I think I know where they live.
There's some suspicious people diagonal across the road I'm looking at.
Well, they follow you up from Antioch.
No, I don't know what's going on. All day long, people come to his house and get scooters and ride around like the block. This goes on all day long. I don't believe he's running a business or anything. I can't find anything listed, and it's just really odd. And some of those scooters are fast, and they're generally not wearing helmets. And you see people on dirt bikes without helmets and mini bikes. I don't know what's going on there. It's very specific.
Wow. I had a neighbor like that 30 years ago. Turned out he was a drug dealer.
Well, this is a lot of teenagers. I don't think that's what's going down. But I've thought of that. He could be doing that also. Because there is that meth head ilk, you know. Anyway, but yeah, it's just really odd. I mean, literally every day there's a dozen to 15, 20 people throughout the day that come and go and get on these scooters and ride them around.
So you're saying a lot of them look like long-haired hippie freaks? Is that what you're saying?
No, lizard people.
Okay, well, they could be disguised with the hair, too, you know.
Well, see, that's the whole deal. With the lizard people, they can disguise themselves. They can make themselves appear to you however they want.
I got to watch out for them, man. I think some of my neighbors qualify.
Well, that's today's Crime Stopper.
Very good. Anything else, Greg?
Negative 84C.
Very good. That's Greg in Hendersonville. Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. Who else is in there? Katie, really fuzzy because there was two or three people in there. Katie Ford and G-O-N. Hey, Danny. Everything going well with you at work this week?
Oh, yeah, it's going well.
I don't know. It's even at my age of 76, I wouldn't want to get up every day and face a whole bunch of 70 to 80-year-olds.
It was a little trying today, but I made it through it.
Well, I have to believe, I don't know you that well, but I have to believe you have to have a great deal of compassion for the people you're serving.
Yeah, I'm patient.
Well, I'm sure. I sure hope you have patience, man, because Slow moving people can be disturbing.
Yeah. They push the limits sometimes, but I haven't exploded.
Yeah, but they're not doing it on purpose either. I mean, they're just doing it because that's what they got. That's all the steam they got going on.
Oh, I know.
Anyway, it's I find it humorous sometimes, but I'm not laughing at them really. It's just I'm trying to avoid being that way when I get old.
Oh, I know. Yeah. All righty.
All right, Danny. Nothing else?
No, I'll catch you on the next one.
Very good. That's Danny. Kilo Delta 4 Golf Oscar November in Station Camp. Who else is north? Way too much hesitation. Who else is north?
KF4 TJF.
KF4 TJF. Did you move north, did you, Mike, Crick?
No, I'm north of you.
Okay. You are kind of north in a different latitude, yeah. What's going on? Is Mike still getting out on Sunday?
Yes, so far that's the word. He seems to be improving daily.
I think he's milking something over there, man.
I think so, man. You know, he is single. He might have found him a little nurse over there.
Well, he's a little guy. He needs a little nurse.
That's true. Thanks for what you do, Paul. Appreciate you.
All right, very good. That's Rick. Kilo Foxtrot. No, not Kilo Foxtrot 4. It's Kilo November 4. I don't know why I wrote down Foxtrot. Kilo November 4 Tango Juliet Foxtrot, and that's Rick, and he's in. It's a good signal tonight from way over there in west Ashland City. Who else is north?
84 VW.
Hello, Carlin. What's going on?
Hadn't had much. Just dealing around here, I reckon.
We had some rain. I went outside a little bit before the net, and it was sprinkling out again, so I don't know if it's going to rain some more tonight or not. How about you?
It kind of looked that way. I started to go down to Walmart here about an hour ago, and then I just changed my mind. I don't have to go. So, anyway, I already went up to Mike's Food Land up in Westmoreland and bought a bunch of groceries and what few things that they didn't have, I go to Walmart and pick up. And I thought, well, you know what? It looks kind of rainy anyway. Like it might rain, and I can wait. Matter of fact, what little I got to get, I'm not low on or anything. So, no, I'll just decide to stay here.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I almost feel like today it feels like it's not really rain. It's a humidification system.
I don't know. I was just noticing the temperature on the computer back there a couple minutes ago. It said 71 degrees out in Portland. I thought, well,
Yeah, the thermistor or the sensor I have out back says it's 73 here in Mount Juliet, so I assume that's pretty close to being correct.
Well, you're further south. As you go south, it gets warmer. So that's the way it does whenever it comes to springtime, and when it goes in the fall. When I worked down there on the south side of Nashville down there, in the springtime I'd get down there and everything still be dead up here. I mean, no leaves on the trees, nothing, just like, winter. And I would get down there to the shop on the south side of Nashville, and there'd be people mowing their grass and, and trees are greened up and everything. And I'm going like, boy, ain't that something? Just 50 miles makes that much of a difference.
Yeah, it does. And, even with, I'll give just one example that I got surprised by when I lived in Florida. Lots of palm trees. Central Florida, tons of palm trees all the way across from coast to coast. But not one coconut palm. Those big, tall coconut palms. You go 50 miles south, there's all kinds of coconut palms.
Yep, that's the way it is. I done now. Anyway, well, I guess I'll push up and let you get some more check-ins there. So, anyway, hello to everybody on the net. And hope I got to hear what you said about Michael and stuff. That sounds good. So, I guess you're doing okay also. So, I'll hush up, turn it back over to you, and let you get you more check-ins there. KD4 VW.
Yeah, very good. That's Carlin. That's Kilo Delta 4 Victor Uniform Whiskey in Angeltown, Bethpage area. Out there in the kind of the not crowded area like we are here in Mount Juliet or Nashville or Lebanon. Who else is north?
Whiskey 4 November Papa, David Whitehouse.
Hey, I'm going to start to think your name is David Whitehouse.
Well, I'm white, but not as big as a house.
I don't know how old you are. When the internet first started, I say first started. I think it was in the 90s when it started, where there were websites and there was traffic to be had. If somebody was looking for some reason, they were advertising, at least at the federal level, just go to whitehouse.gov, and you could get information from, I don't remember whether it was Clinton or whether it was Bush, I don't recall. But if you put down whitehouse.com, you ended up with porn. And so I don't know what happened to that website, but it cracked a lot of people. It made a lot of people mad.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm 47, so I definitely grew up in my childhood without internet, and I certainly remember the dial-up modem.
Oh yeah, no, it's we have, we actually feel like, from, because I was born almost in the birth of routine television being around, for most of the major cities in this country in late 40s. Now, I wasn't watching TV the year I was born in 49, but in the early 50s, I grew up with a small television and one or two stations, and of course, and that, and so it's funny how far we've progressed to go from. Of course, the anniversary of Morse sending that transatlantic message, I think was yesterday or day before yesterday. And I was telling my wife, and I said, can you imagine from 1844 till today, less than 200 years later, I'm sitting here holding a cell phone. I can talk to anybody I want to if I got their phone number all over the world.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, it's certainly amazing, and to think about how quickly things have progressed. And when I first got my driver's license, the only wireless communication that I had was the CB radio between me and my friend. And so, and then of course, I don't know, I remember the big phones, the big Motorola bricks, and then the bag phones and the car phones, and funny how everything kept getting smaller and smaller. And the technology started changing. But I'll tell you one thing I was kind of glad to see, and I'm kind of glad to see now, is over-the-air TV is not being interfered with HF signals now. So that's one positive.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's amazing how, it just is an amazing thing. I did a presentation one time some years ago and talked about how in 1910, I saw an article in an old Popular Mechanics magazine. It was talking about there were barriers to building a 100-story building. And those barriers were the ability to pump water up 100 floors. And in other words, to have fire protection, etc. Well, between 1910 and 1929, they built a couple 300-story buildings by 1929 in New York City, and I don't know where else. And now here we are, 100 years later, 110, 115 years later, and we've got so many buildings and so much. We've progressed so far; it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is quite mind-bending how quickly things have advanced for us. And the components in today's modern electronics is just super tiny. We're talking about like a grain of salt, grain of pepper or salt or something like that, and it makes it very difficult to repair your own equipment.
Oh, absolutely. Well, just replace the whole board or you replace the equipment. No, in fact, one of the things I was referencing in that presentation was, I said, here was my grandparents grew up on farms that had no running water, they had no flush toilets, and they farmed their own property. And here we are, all these years later. Almost nobody lives on farms.
Well, I still live here at the location or the farm location I originally grew up on, and it's I guess it's been in the family for over 100 years, and we've still got the original outhouse. If that tells you anything.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. There's probably people listening who've never used an outhouse.
Well, they should try it once. I don't think the Sears and Roebuck catalog is still in it though.
No. Well, that's why you got to put some corn cobs out there.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the reason I might make the white ones and then the yellow ones.
Of course, you could give those out to people that hadn't been shucked yet, and they'd have a real difficult time.
That's right. All right, appreciate it.
I'll let you move on. W4NP, back to that.
All right, yeah, very good. You can tell I've had some exposure to farming. That was David, Whiskey 4 November, Papa, and he's in White House. Who else is north?
KE4TWI.
Hey, I'm surprised Possum Town even has houses, to tell you the truth, with that name.
We do. We have city water. We've got city gas. We're not in the city limits, but I'm actually mobile tonight. Everything's been unplugged with the storms, and I heard David barely. I could hear Carlin, so David probably can't hear me, but everything's good out here.
Well, you know the deal. On mobile, you're not going to hear a whole lot.
Well, I'm in the truck, so it's got that big, it's 2 stacked 5/8 waves, so it's kind of a tall whip. I think it's a 96-incher. It does a good job, but it's a high Q antenna. In other words, when you put it on the analyzer, it dips pretty low here, but above and below 2 meters, it's pretty high impedance, or it's off. So, good job.
Yep, I've got that same antenna. I just I can't put it on my car because it reduces my gas mileage.
Anyway, I did put a 5/8 wave on her vehicle, so I haven't put anything in it yet. I just on handheld, so you might hear me around town this week.
All right, good. I'll leave the radio on. I haven't been doing much of it. I've been busy doing some other things. Well, a lot of nothing, but doing some other things, and I've been monitoring some frequencies, and just, it's all fun. Radio is always fun.
Yep, by the way, during the day, if you get a chance, I'm from my office, I'm on 446-415, so it gets out better. 2 meters is a lot of interference. All right, back to net. KE4TWI.
Yeah, we proved that the other day when you were up on Lebanon Road up there by Walgreens.
Oh, absolutely, it does great.
Yeah, we were just talking. Wes and I were talking earlier in the week, I think, or last week, I forget which. And he said, "Well, let's try. I'm mobile, and let's try 70 centimeters to me from your house to up on Lebanon Road, which is about 3 miles. No, I think it's 5 miles as the crow flies, I think." And he said that 70 centimeters came in better than 2 meters from my house, from where I am to mobile. So it's kind of interesting how 70 centimeters does cut through a lot of things. Over short distances, let me qualify that. Who else is, by the way, that was Kilo Echo 4 Tango, Whiskey India, West in Possum Town, but mobile. Who else is north? Nobody else north? Let's go to sleep. Over to the west.
KG4 ILV.
Hello, Jack. You do anything special today on a kind of cloudy, rainy day?
I went outside this afternoon. It was pretty nice. I worked a little bit in the garden.
Yeah, I did a little bit out there, but not much. Wait, is muggy out today?
Yeah, I just did clean up. I didn't really scratch in the dirt.
Man, but I'm telling you, like I said earlier, it's the weather now is like a humidification machine out there.
You were talking about growing up with television. Television's only 100 years old.
Yeah, I think the first transmission was in New York City, if I remember my history right. And I want to say it was around somewhere in the vicinity in the 30s or maybe a little earlier.
Well, Philo T. Farnsworth, he gets credited for the first electronic TV, and he was in the 20s. Like, I think the first one was 1927. There was a electromechanical unit set up before, and it worked with spinning plates with holes in them.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. I think I told you my dad decided because we had a black and white TV in the 60s, and he says, I understand. My guy told me at work I could turn it into a color TV by putting the primary colors on a spinning wheel and spin it in front of the TV. It didn't see crap.
Well, he worked out this electronic scheme when he was 15 years old, so he stuck with it and made it work. Wow,
15, huh? Well, anyway, no, I thought it was, I think you're right. It was closer to 2025, but 1925. I didn't want to push it too far because that seems too early.
Well, there was a lot of experimentation going on, and he had little shows from his laboratory, but wasn't like a big broadcast thing, but it did work.
Did you ever get the feeling that there's a lot of people with slightly softened corneas going on at that time?
be. Thanks, Paul.
Very good. That's Jack. He's in Davidson County in Donaldson. Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor. His name is Jack. Good statement. Who else is West?
Comment.
For DJT, if you can hear me.
Hold on, DJT. What did you say? What's the comment there, Greg?
The really weird thing is that first television transmission was a consumer cellular commercial.
And it's, you know what? It's almost half of what I used to pay.
Yeah, I mean, it was really odd, but it's been going on that long. Anyway, continue on.
Very good. I heard Don. Don't juggle turtles guy. What's up?
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Bad conditions tonight out here. We got some rain between us. Your signal dropped to nothing. I was hoping it would come back before you got around to me. I'm just hanging out here. I'm in the process of building a new computer since I don't need to work to support people using Windows anymore. I'm swapping over to a full Linux system and ditching Microsoft forever.
Yeah, I've messed with Linux, but since I'm not a very experienced user of that kind of stuff, I use it and it's fun and it has its niceties to it, like it's free. But it's great, and I have two computers sitting here that will operate on Linux.
Yeah, I'm setting a new one up for a dual boot. I'm still going to keep Windows around on another drive just in case. Yeah, I'm so over it, and just finding my passion for doing this stuff again after now I don't have to do it for a living anymore. I just do it because I want to. So I wanted to do an upgrade for a while, swap out my case to a server case to rack mount that all up, and it fits a little better with the shack. But yeah, that's about all I'm doing, brother.
Yeah, well, the neat thing I find, this is going back, it's almost close to 25 years. I don't remember the year. It was around 2000. And I had one of those old 86 computers. And I loaded up Red Hat on it. And it functioned normally. Now, it was the full-blown Red Hat Linux program.
Oh, yeah. My youngest son, he's into retro computing and electronics, and he has a lot of old computers. He's got a Commodore 64, which I bought him. He has a Tandy 1000. He has something with his Z80 in it, and a few other retro stuff. Well, he's got an old Apple IIc he plays with. He's versed in Fortran and COBOL and assembly.
I don't know if I ever told you that quick story about a guy. I was managing a service department in Tampa, and a guy just got out of college. He'd worked for me a few days or a couple of weeks, and he came in to me and he goes, you know what's going to happen? He graduated with a degree in, I think it was in computer programming, but I'm not sure. He says, everybody is going to have to, this is an 81 now, just keep in mind the year, 81. He goes, everybody's going to have to learn Fortran or COBOL because all these PCs, personal computers coming out. I looked at him and I go, yeah, no effing way, bud. I said, if you can't program a VCR clock, you can't do the programming.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty funny. But also back then they said 460K is all the memory you'll ever need.
Oh, yeah, we had a piece of equipment that had an upgrade. I think it was, I don't remember now whether it was, I really don't remember if it was 8K or 16K on a system we had. And it was like $32,000.
Oh, yeah, no joke. Yeah, that stuff was crazy. I've had almost every kind of computer you can imagine, except for a punch card machine. I have used one, but I've never owned one. But I've had computers that had core memory in them, full-blown CRTs. I had a VAX for a little while, which I played around with. I actually bought one used. And, I've had every computer you could possibly imagine, brother.
Well, you had to have owned a Timex Sinclair then.
I did. Well, I know I had a TI-99. Did not have a Timex Sinclair, but I've played with them.
Yeah, I had one. I got them. I got them on a closeout. They were going for like $100 and something bucks. I don't remember how much, but I think I got it for like $50 or $60. I had fun with it.
Oh yeah, I used to do all kinds of cool stuff. That old stuff with my when I had my Commodore 64, it had a user expansion port on it, which kind of worked like a Raspberry Pi, where you could turn the bits on and off on the user port. You could set them high or low, so I made a little buffer, and so I wouldn't fry anything, and I cooked those pins to the safe lock loop of my CD radio, and I can control the entire frequency selection from the computer.
Oh, wow. I do know, what I thought was funny about that little device, because it wasn't any bigger, it was about 1/8, no, it was about the size of a cell phone, except it was thicker, maybe a little bigger. And it had the output so you could hook it up directly to a TV.
Oh yeah, that's how the 64s were too. VIC-20s came that way too. A lot of those old computers all had RF adapters for them so you could get on the TV because nobody could afford a proper CRT computer monitor.
Yeah, it's really funny. The last CRT monitor I bought the best one I could afford. I bet you it weighed 100 pounds.
Yeah, I had a 27-inch CRT for a while, and that thing was a bear.
Yeah. That's funny. I can't imagine really something that big in the CRT. Anyway, I'm just so glad that once we have these high definition screens we got now, man, there's nothing to them.
Oh yeah, no, I'm running a 49-inch widescreen OLED for my computer, and I'm about to put two 32-inch monitors that I used to have on top of that on wall mounts. So yeah, I'm monitored out.
That's pretty big. I used to have two monitors I used all the time when I was doing a bunch of digital, but that gets to be kind of it's too much work.
Nah, I tell you, the other two displays are going to be just for display. It's like I can just throw like the weather radar up there on one screen and throw my remote control radio stuff on the other screen and do whatever I want to do on the big one.
Right. No, it's all fun though. If you're not it's one of those things though with computers. Some people don't like computers, so it's not fun, so they don't do anything.
No, but I was finding my love for them again, and that's what killed it. I took my hobby and turned it into a career, and after almost 45 years of doing that, I didn't want to do it anymore, but now that I don't have to do it, and I'm doing this because I want to, it definitely feels a lot better.
Yeah, and it's exclusively for you.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's all I got, Paul. Man, good hearing you. Your signal finally came up. At the end here, you're almost back to normal. The rain must have moved out of the way. So everything, my friend, I'll let you get back after that, and howdy to everybody out there. And for DJ T out in the hinterlands of Bon Agua, we're listening.
Yep, that was Don in Bon Aqua. That's November 4 Delta Juliet Tango. By the way, Don, if you're still listening, Rick in Ashland City checked in earlier, much earlier. He's like the second person to check in. And he was like he was right next door almost. The signals were that good from his location. So it was much better earlier. Who else is west? Anybody else west? How about south?
Okay, F4, KFQ.
Hello, Tony. Did you get rain today?
A bit. I got almost a tenth of an inch.
Oh, that much. Woo!
Yeah, the animals were pairing up.
Oh, that's... my wife wanted to collect some water, from the rainfall. And she goes, I'll just put a pan out there. And I go, but you need more than just like, she goes, what do you mean? I said, well, if we get a 1/4 inch of rain in a pie pan, that's what you're going to get is a 1/4 inch of rain.
Yeah, but people, if you think about it, we don't realize when it rains over a wide area how many billions of gallons of water that is.
Oh, yeah. Don't they measure that, at least scientifically, I forget what they call it. They measure it in hectares, how much water per hectare,
Yeah, you're above my pay grade. I don't know. There's probably a government employee somewhere sitting in a folding chair with a cup sitting out in the parking lot somewhere doing that.
No, man, when he heard me say that, it perked up his ears.
Yeah. Anyway, nope, that's it. I discovered today, though, that one of the facts of life, that tall people sleep longer in bed.
Yeah, I can't sleep that long. I mean, I used to be able to sleep 8 or 10 or 12 hours, but I can't do that anymore. I mean, I'm usually up and at 'em. If I sleep 8 hours, I'm shocked.
Yeah, I understand that. I'll sleep 2 or 3, and then I'll get up and I'll putter around. Anyway, I'm going to get out of the way, and there's other people waiting. KF4, KFQ.
Yeah, that was Tony in Smyrna. Kilo, Foxtrot, 4 Kilo, Foxtrot, Quebec. Good signal as always. Who else is south? Man, and the gods for propaganda are not good with us tonight. I know who it is, and I can hear a little bit of your voice, or Larry. At least I believe it's Larry. But that's Larry in Rockville. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. Can you copy me at all there, Larry? All righty. Well, have a good night. That was Larry, Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor in Rockville. Who else is Sal? All right. Anybody, any place, anywhere?
KB9RKK.
KB9RKK. What's up?
Yeah, I'm late, but I figured let me check in real quick.
Oh yeah, it's and you know when you were telling me the other day about what you were servicing on your that and commercial industrial I don't know what you call it. What do you call it? What does that industry call it? Dish machine industry? Say again?
Food service equipment.
Yeah, food service. And it was like me when I was working for the in commercial industrial refrigeration. And I went to my boss one day, and it was like it was already deeply seated in what I was talking about. And I said, "What were we doing when they snuck in all these microprocessors into our equipment?"
Yeah. Well, we got touch screens and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, we were talking about how you can communicate with like basically IP, kind of like digital.
Yeah, and of course, as you said, it's difficult to get people in a commercial building to let you into their system, unless you had a home run from T1 line or something.
Yeah, they're just worried about security. I mean, they think, we're going to hack into their stuff. Or it's possible, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, you have to get a port, and then it depends on how many layers there are. And some are easier, some are. So far, the easiest ones, like when we need temporary, I set up a cell phone modem through a T-Mobile, and I've done that in the past. That was 15 years ago. But now they want to do it through the internet, through their network, through their Wi-Fi. So we're getting that now. We're just introducing that we're testing it out so that you don't need Bluetooth. We've been doing Bluetooth where the customer can hook up to Bluetooth. Now we're going to try to do it for Wi-Fi for that reason that I told you, how the manufacturers are coming together and hey, we got to come up with a standard.
Somebody who, if they were just brought here from 1960, they'd think we were talking science fiction.
Yeah. I mean, some of it is overkill, and some of it I get it, especially in today's thing. But one of their goals is there's record keeping, and record keeping. I think partially maybe the health people are behind it too, because it's easy to falsify written ones, but if you got a digital one that gets it off the machine directly, what the temperatures are and everything. They call it HACCP. It's for measuring the temperature. They have to do that for their food. They got to do it for their refrigerators. They got to do it for their freezers. They got to do it for anything that's thermal.
Yeah. I was going to ask you something. I forgot what it was now. Dang. Oh, I know what it was. I'm talking about security. I was thinking about this just the other day. Try to imagine the security necessary for one of the most busiest things on the planet, and that's the New York Stock Exchange and their computer systems, and they're connected to people all over the world. What kind of security do they have, man?
Oh, no. I have no idea. Yeah, that is kind of, when you put it in that way, it's like, what are these food people worried about?
Well, I'm pretty sure the food service equipment doesn't have the security of the New York Stock Exchange or the Chicago Stock Exchange,
Yeah, well, everybody wants to protect their little thing, because they hack in and, they do, bad stuff happens, But yeah, no, it's crazy. But yeah, I just come in here, just turned it on. I was able to catch you talking to Don. He was coming in actually pretty good over here.
Hey, it wasn't too shabby at all. I mean, it was a little noisy, but not real bad.
Yeah,
we caught him the other day driving home. I just happened to be in a rare instance. I turned on the radio and heard somebody on a repeater. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. And he was one of them that came in.
Oh, wow. Did you see the thumbnail I put up about repeaters?
No, I'm going to have to fire the computer up.
I just take a look. It was it's nothing you haven't heard me say before, except it has a slight punchline to it.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I mean, I belong to the club and everything, and it's good. And I like it for driving, when we're able to drive and do it for that purpose. But yeah, it's kind of, I'll have to check it out here.
All right, sounds good. Anyway, anything else from that, Frank?
Negative. I'm going to be gone for a little while. This is a busy week. I'm taking vacation, so it's a good kind of busy week.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that is a good kind of week. I don't know how they're going to live without you, man. In other words, don't eat at any restaurants that have his equipment, okay?
Yeah, I don't go any place I've been in, because once I've been in there, I can't eat there no more.
That's what I said when I used to do service on restaurant equipment. Well, refrigeration stuff. Anyway, hotels are hotels. Let's not talk about those. All right, that was Frank, Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo, Kilo. And he's over in Northwest Mount Juliet. Who else is any place anywhere?
Kilo Romeo 4, Echo Mike Hotel, Lucas up in Gallatin.
Hello, Lucas. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. I almost forgot about your net. I just turned you on a few minutes ago.
Oh, well, it's easy to forget. I can't forget. I'm net control.
If you forget, we're all in trouble, right?
Oh, I have forgotten. One night I fell asleep after dinner. I dozed off, and my wife nudges me. I'm sitting in the recliner. She goes, "Don't you have a net tonight?" I go, "What?" It was like 8:15. I go, "Oh yeah, I do have a net."
I'm sure it's happened to the best of us. Hey, Paul, how long have you been doing this net?
Oh, that we just started this week, or last week I think. I don't know whether it was the first, last week or last night or this one. We started our 12th year today.
Oh, really? That's outstanding. Congratulations on that. I heard you saying something about if you talked to somebody from the 1960s, seeing the technology that we have today, and it was just making me think about, I'm not going to say the word out loud, but Alexa, because I'll trigger her in my house, but, we live in a world now where you just talk to the air, and you can get an answer from all the knowledge in the world on a little speaker. Pretty crazy.
I saw a video of, it was obviously, I think it was an unplanned, I don't know if it was a skit or not, but the guy walks into like a Starbucks and he says, or into a little deli and says, "Yes, I'd like a latte with blah blah." And she goes, "You just have to tell Alexa." And he looks down on the desk, on the platform, and there was this round block thing on the desk. He leans over and he says, "Alexa, I'd like it." And she goes, "No, Alexa over there at the other end of the counter."
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But no, man, the technology has come a long, long way in a very, very short amount of time. And it's, like it or not, it's here, and it's pretty amazing.
Well, I bring my mind back to around 1960, early 60s. 12 or 13, I had my bicycle, and this the big drugstores of the day in our neighborhood, they started selling all kinds of retail equipment besides drugs and greeting cards. And so I drove. It was about a mile and a half from my house. I rode over there because they had on sale. They had it in their flyer. They had an AM radio, like a 2-transistor, for like $4. Man, I went over there and bought me. I remember riding home on my bike, listening to that AM radio.
Oh, man, I tell you what. I call those the good old days. Now, I wasn't around in the 60s, but I do know what you're saying there. And, it just makes me think of the trouble that I may not have been able to get into back in high school if we had all the social media and all the technology that we have now.
No, we were forced to write notes and things like that.
Yeah, all right. You tell your kids, pen and paper, and they say, "What's that?"
Well, I hate to. I had a lot of fun all through school. It's one of the reasons I didn't do as well as I should have. I just had a lot of fun. And me and this buddy of mine who passed away a long time ago, he and I used to get in more trouble together. We sat. Now think about it, he was in one row closest to the windows in the back. I was in the first row on the other side of the room, but there was nobody between us. I took a rubber band and a paper clip and whipped it across there, hit him right in the butt. He screamed out in pain, and the teacher realized I did it. I was in trouble.
I love it, man.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm glad. We used to give you an idea. We had a teacher. The chalkboard was warped because those are made out of. I don't know what they were made of, but I think they were made of wood. Some of them they were made of like a hardwood veneer, and he said this one's. So he used to take, in order to clean the chalkboard, he took this. It looked like a board. Maybe it was 2 foot. Maybe 18-inch board. It was wrapped in a towel, and he'd soak it in water and wipe down the board to completely clean the chalkboard. And he goes, the only reason I do this is I'm hoping that it'll warp enough so they'll replace it.
Oh, man, good stuff. Well, listen, Paul, I just wanted to jump in there and say hello to you. You may have other folks in there waiting to get on. I just wanted to just say hey to you. This is KR4EMH Lucas up in Gallatin. I hope you have a good week, rest of the week.
Very good. Again, that's Lucas. If you couldn't hear him, you should. He's got a good signal out of, you said Gallatin, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good. Kilo Romeo 4 Echo Mike Hotel, Lucas. Yeah, all kinds. I'm starting to feel like the old man telling old stories. Of course, I guess I kind of am. I just don't think of it that way. I mean, my wife is 13 years younger than me, and I get along better with people that are younger. And I get along better. It's not the right word. I can easily get along good with people who are younger simply because I think younger thoughts. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe just because it means I never grew up. I don't know. Who else? Who else is any place anywhere? Oh, I couldn't copy that. Is anybody else copying that? I got nothing. I can't hear you. Let's try it again. Now, I thought I heard K4, but that's all I heard, if that's what you said.
It's Bowling Green.
Oh, it's Steve in Bowling Green. Fantastic. K4WKU. How you doing, Steve? And I know I can't hear your answer, so I'm glad you're in there. Can I get a translation there, Greg? I mean, yeah, Greg, but to Jack.
I got it here. Watching the ball game, and she just wanted to give you another number.
Okay, very good. Well, he did give me another number. Number 15, which is pretty average for us. Anybody, I appreciate you being there, Steve. That's K4WKU. He's north of Bowling Green, about 65 miles, and he's pointed south to me. I think he's still got that 5-element beam pointed almost due south to me. And so he hears me much better than I hear him. Because I had a beam, and I could hear him better, but I don't have it up right now. And every time he calls, I should put it back up. All right. Anybody else? All right. I'm going to try one last try see if I can get to Scott by asking for dilly-dalliers, spuddlers, landlubbers, sandbaggers, lollygaggers, lurkers, skulkers, slackers, lackeys, toadies, lackards, repeater, good chunkers, shape-shifting lizard people, moon landing deniers, moon occupied by aliens, and those that deny it. Moon backside is also the backside of the moon is occupied by alien nations, and they're doing mining that no one seems to be aware of. There's flat earthers and those that deny flat earthers. There's also scanners, listeners, SDR donglers, preppers, end-time survivalists, and it's not really a theory, but it's a Bigfoot believers. Anybody else out there?
Well, since you called me out personally, K1S pretty.
Almost every net call you out personally, Scott.
Well, it's become a habit.
Oh, I know. It's all right. It's all good. It's really funny to me that somebody's. I think I've told you that. Somebody said to me, we were out to breakfast, and he goes, I probably won't be on the net tonight. I don't care.
Okay. The wife will ask me, she goes, don't you have a net when you talk? I said, I'll get to it.
Yeah, no, it's just not. It's not one of those things that's an imperative. We're not running a mandatory net here. It's just for fun.
Well, that's what it's all about.
Well, it is all about that until the poo-poo hits the fan somewhere, and everybody goes, how come we can't talk to each other on the repeaters?
Yeah, it's funny you say repeaters. I put new radios in my truck, and I went ahead and mounted one in my minivan also. And I had Kenwoods, those two that I've got up for sale, the 271 and the 281. Great radios. I just don't like not having a squelch knob. Well, I found a Yaesu and then an Icom, where both of them had squelch knobs in them. But should have seen me programming repeaters in those things.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, it's, again, you know me. It's not that I don't like repeaters. It has nothing to do with like or that I don't use them. It's a question of, and I don't know if you saw the thumbnail on tonight's net that I used for the net. It was, you know, my 20-year diatribe against repeaters for the following reasons, and I had 6 good reasons. Not that repeaters are bad. It's just that we shouldn't depend upon them. I mean, they're good when you can't talk simplex, or if you're mobile, they're fantastic.
Okay, I'll agree with it. That's a good statement right there. I just brought it up.
Yeah, no, it's you know, I think I told you. I don't know if I told you. I'll say it again. That he since passed away. There was a repeater owner, nice fella. PCD was the last something K4 PCD, I think it was. Anyway, the last 3 were PCD. And he called me here on this frequency, and you know, I go, hey, how you doing? I'd never met him before, I don't think. And he says, you know, we got a repeater over here you guys can use. You know, he was just trying to be helpful. I go, no, I know you do. It's a nice repeater. I said, but we're here in Simplex. Well, no, I mean, we got a repeater. You can come over and use it. And you know, I'm like, I said, maybe you don't understand. We're doing Simplex for a reason. You know, he was so narrow thinking about he's got a repeater, so you got to use it, man. It's there to use.
Yeah, you know, I'll turn this one onto the house, and I don't have much programmed in on it, repeater-wise. I think I have 2 of them on there. But, you know, and I'll hit scan, and, man, the radio never stops on them. I very seldom hear anybody on a repeater. About the most active repeater I think around is the 9-1 machine over there on Shore Mountain. You agree?
Oh, that's the one I've heard the most from over the years. And you're right. If there were a repeater, or 2 repeaters, or 3 repeaters that were active, I'd sit and scan them all day long. And I just don't, because it's never activity. Well, not never. It's just not very much.
Yeah, back when I was working, you know, I'd be in the truck an awful lot, and the 9-1 was very busy.
Oh, yeah. When I was down in Florida, when I first got my license, we had a repeater that was very, you know, it was right there, almost on the coast. It was at 1,100 feet on a commercial tower. And it got across, you know, you could hit it with an HT from anywhere. When I'd be mobile on the road on business, I could get in that repeater. It was a lot of fun. I knew a lot of people. And it was a lot of fun. And in fact, the guy even had the stats. On a Friday night, starting at like 5 o'clock, he said it had like a 90% use time between 5, I don't remember the numbers, but for the sake of exaggerating, it was from like 5 p.m. until midnight or 2 in the morning. It had access to 70% use time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'll wrap this one up so we can move on to the other nets. Okay, what is
Very good. You know, it says it's let me look only macro. It's 72 degrees outside according to my weather station, and it says 95% humidity, and I can feel it. I can just feel it here. It's unbelievable how humid it gets in this kind of a condition. All right, I'll be there in a second. Any other check-ins before we move on? All right, just give me 15 seconds. I got to switch the antennas. Oops. All right, I'm here. 446, 415. I was thinking the 10 meter net was next, and I was over there goofing with the radio. Anyway, this K4PW looking for check-ins from the east, from the north. All right, I got Danny, KD4GON, and the station Camp Wells.
KD4CVE.
KD4CVE, Greg and Antioch, both good signals. Who else is north?
Hendersonville.
I'm sorry, what did I say? Did I say Antioch?
Yeah, you used the A word. W.
Oh, yeah, see how ingrained it got. I was talking to you so long from Antioch. All right. He's in Hendersonville. Just used to saying that. That big Jack better not move. He'll be in Donaldson forever. All right, who else is in there beside? I think I heard Carl in there. I hear KD4VUA. BU.
Yes, it's me, but I'm hearing you very terribly here. KD4VUW.
Very good. That's Carlin, KD4VUW in Angeltown. Bethpage. Who else? Anybody else north? Where's Eric these days? Anybody else north or east or west? Excuse me.
KG4LV.
So you can't move, Jack, even if you want to.
I'm stuck.
I'm telling you, man, you're forever in Donaldson. In fact, we're going to bury you in Donaldson right there at the house. You won't mind, will you?
No, I can put me in the garden.
We'll have to sweeten it up a little bit.
Yeah, put me to use.
Well, what did they call that? That blue... What was the name of that stuff?
Soylent Green.
Oh, Soylent Green. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name. All right, very good. That's Jack and Donaldson, Kilo Golf for India Lima Victor. Anybody else? South? North, south, east, or west? KB9RKK. Would you back away from the mic there, Frank? Sounded like you were farther away from the mic when you said that.
Far away.
Didn't you say, were you backing off from the mic? Was that why it sounded funny?
Yeah, I was, I had swung it out of the way, didn't realize it.
Oh, no, that's all right. I just sounded like you were, you're walking away. Oh, you're fine. I'm checking in.
No, it's all good.
No, you know, it's just when I wear headphones and you know I have a pretty good system, and I can discern what the other person is saying very well.
Oh yeah. And what the funny thing is, I actually was wearing the headset, but I was using the desk mic, so that's what happened.
Oh wow, that's funny. All right, yeah, I was hearing you bounce off the wall. That's what it was. All right, that was Frank, KB9RKK. Anybody else? Well, that's Slim Pickens on 28415. I mean, on 446-415. And we're going to go over to 28.415. Anybody want to check in on 446-415 before we quit?
K1SP.
Ah, very good, man. You made the cutoff.
Well, I gotta wait till everyone's pretty much done on this antenna.
You're used to batting cleanup, I take it.
That's right.
All right, very good. That's Scott and Laverne. That makes a grand total of 7, which is an unusual number for that one. Or we're going to go right over to 28.415, unless I hear somebody complain. All right, that's where we're going. 28.415. Alrighty, looking for check-ins on 28.415 right now from, well, it doesn't matter where really, but we're going to start from the east. Going to the north.
Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo Kilo.
Yeah, you sound pretty good tonight, Frank. Sound real good on 10 meters. It's not noisy at all.
Yeah, you're pretty close.
No, it's just not noisy. I don't hear much noise in here at all. Anyway, that's Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo Kilo, and it's Frank here in Mount Juliet. Who else is north? All right, KD4GON. You sound a little low, but very readable there, Danny, Kilo Delta 4 Golf Oscar November. Who else north? Yeah, you got a little bit of a, I forget what you call that. Because when you finish a word, it ends up with this little sound at the end of it, like the microphone noise. Yes, I'm sorry, Greg. Yes. Yeah, okay, very good. No, I can hear it. You're doing fine. It was KD4CVE, and he is in, not in Antioch. He moved. He's in, he's in Hendersonville. Who else is north? Oh, wow. Somebody's going to have to, so I might need a relay. I heard that, but I didn't hear who it was. Oh, very good. Whiskey 4 November, Papa. That's David in White House. Well, your signal's really low, but I got my headphones on, so I can hear you. Yeah, but I don't know if you're married or not, but that's not usually enough of an answer, doing the best you can. All right, very good. That was David in White House. Whiskey 4 November, Papa. Who else is north? Is there anybody who can copy anything I don't? Feel like I hear something in the background. Who else is west? Ah, very good, Don. I got you in there. It's a little low, but I got a decent copy. Yeah, very good. That was Don in Bon Aqua, November 4, Delta Juliet Tango. Who else? West. Ah, very good, Greg. Jack in Eastern Davidson County, KG4ILV. Anybody else? I think that's it. We doubled. It was the same number. 7 on 2 meters and 7 on 10 meters. I don't know what that means, anything. So we should have had not duplicates, but multiples of that in 2 meters, but we didn't. We only had 16 people on 2 meters. All right, very good. Nothing else. We're going to switch over unless I hear somebody. Oh, man, just had to hang in there at the very end again. Good to have you in there, Scott. Oh, really? Oh, I did it right off the bat, so maybe you didn't. All right, very good. That's Scott and Laverne. He actually cracked the 7 number up to 8 on 28.415. All right, have a good night, everybody, and we're going to move over to, I'm going to kill the YouTube feed so we can talk normally on 223.415. We'll see you there. K4P. Just give me a minute. Working this software thingy. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye. So long.